I've been joined by Elana Amsterdam. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you.
Yeah.
And the title right off the bat, The Guru. That's a good name. The Guru, gluten-free guru. I love that.
Thank you.
First off, tell me about gluten-free. I worked in a fine dining restaurant, and so I've heard a lot about it. My chefs knew about it. But tell me about you and how you kind of got involved with the whole thing.
Sure. I was actually diagnosed with something called celiac disease in 1998.
Early.
Yeah, that's early. That was the dark ages of the gluten-free movement, if you want to call it. When I would try and order in a restaurant, people thought I was part of some cult when I would order a gluten-free meal. Now you can walk into Whole Foods, any Whole Foods, and there's a whole aisle of gluten-free.
Sure.
When I was diagnosed, it wasn't that big of a deal. I said, okay, I'll just go gluten-free, no problem. My son was diagnosed 3 years later when he was 3 years old. I was actually diagnosed during pregnancy, which is pretty common.
Right.
Autoimmune disorders can be diagnosed after any kind of trauma, and pregnancy can be a trauma sometimes. Sure. Anyway, when my son was diagnosed at age 3, then I really became passionate about turning my favorite recipes into gluten-free classics. So you have here things like, I'll show you how to make a smoked salmon leek tart.
Great.
I make chocolate chip cookies for my kids almost every day. They love that. In my book, on the cover of the book, is the marshmallow cake with chocolate,
nice.
Chocolate cake with marshmallow frosting. So I got really into it in 2001 when my son was diagnosed.
Well, and this is something that has taken the nation by storm. I mean, we're going as far as having you in Shape magazine, not only an image of you in here talking about being the guru, but recipes as well. That's a big deal to be in Shape magazine. It's kind of becoming mainstay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that a magazine like Shape would have gluten-free recipes. And I think part of the reason that they wanted my recipes in the magazine is that I cook with almond flour. Most gluten-free recipes are made with a combination of rice flour, potato starch, tapioca flour, and that can be a little bit of a problem for a few reasons. One, it's just a pain to buy all those ingredients and then mix them all up. Two, my husband and my children think they don't really taste that good. You can never be your own taste tester, so I let my family taste for me. And if you have little kids, they'll spit food out that they don't like, so they're the most honest testers, taste testers that you can have. Three, the other problem with more conventionally known gluten-free ingredients is they're actually not as healthy for you as wheat flour, rice flour, potato starch. Those things are very high on the glycemic index, full of carbohydrates, low in protein, whereas almond flour, and the reason I wrote a whole book about almond flour is because almond flour is a superfood. It's high in protein, low in carbohydrates, filled with antioxidants. So I love it that the members of my family that aren't gluten-free are actually eating healthier food than if they were doing the wheat thing.
Well, and you had to, back when you were diagnosed, you had to basically give up foods. You just, you go to a restaurant and you've got to give them up because they didn't know what to do. Now, instead of doing that for your son, you want your son to enjoy all of the tastes of the world. So you changed your lifestyle and created all of this.
Yeah, I didn't want him to be deprived. When I was a schoolgirl, I used to come home from school every afternoon and make the Toll House cookie recipe. And I wanted him to have those chocolate chip cookies, which I'm going to show you how to make in a little bit.
I love it.
I just love that also he's eating them and they're made with almonds, so it's a superfood. So he's actually, in some odd way, I mean, I'm not saying you're better off if you have celiac disease or you're gluten-free, but if you use almond flour, you're actually nutritionally ahead of the game.
I love it. Now let's talk about tonight. You're going to be at the Bookworm. $25 gets you appetizers, gets you time with you to learn about all the gluten-free. Tell me what's going on there.
Don't forget the wine.
And wine.
Wine and appetizers. I actually baked cookies for this event. We're going to have some recipes from my cookbook. We'll have rosemary hazelnut cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and muesli bread. That's my favorite recipe in the book. And a bunch of other things. And I'll do a little signing, talk to people about being gluten-free, making the adjustment, and talk about the book and answer questions.
I love it. Well, let's get to the main course here. Let's talk about what you've got in front of us. We're going to get to dessert a little bit later. I'm going to have to beat off the hands that come sneaking in there for your cookies. But let's talk about the main course here.
Sure. So what I'm going to show you how to make tonight, which is a quick and easy dinner and great for guests, is a smoked salmon leek tart. And we have the finished product right there.
Okay.
And this is really easy to make. First, you're just going to crack a couple eggs. Do you want to crack one?
Sure, absolutely.
Get back into the cooking thing.
I can help you out there. No
right.
problem. Of course, mine's going to be the one with the chunk of egg.
No, I think mine got a little shell in it. How embarrassing.
Right. That's all right.
See, someone actually reviewed my book on Amazon and said my recipes were a quick and dirty quick and dirty dump, no, quick down dump and dirty affair, which I loved. Sweet. I love that because I'm like, you know what? You just dump some ingredients in a bowl, mix them up, and then you throw them in the oven and you're done. So we've got our eggs.
Yep.
Then I sauteed these ahead of time because it takes 15 minutes. So these are leeks, and it's 2 cups leeks.
Sauteed them
sauteed in grapeseed oil.
In grapeseed oil, okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to throw in 2 ounces of smoked salmon.
Nice.
If you top this tart with goat cheese, it kind of tastes like a little bit of a bagel and lox thing. Okay. You got the smoked salmon and the cheese, and I love that.
Very nice. And just salmon, that's not marinated anything?
No, it's just smoked salmon I got it from a pack at Whole Foods. I love wild salmon. Okay. So I use that. Then you've got the dill.
Nice.
Which is yummy.
Already the smells, folks. You can't smell it at home, but it already smells great.
We don't have that technology yet.
Not yet.
Soon we'll have that. Okay, and then we've got half a teaspoon salt. Yep. Wonderful. And we're just going to mix this all together. So the step you're missing is just sauteing the leeks, which adds a few minutes. We dump the filling into the pre-baked pie crust, and we're going to bake it. And it'll come out like this. Voila.
Voila, right there. And we'll just move that right here and just show that. Now, the pie crust itself, where are we going there?
Oh, the pie crust is my herb tart crust, actually. Okay. And that's in the book also. And that's made with the high-protein almond flour, a little bit of grapeseed oil and salt, and then some herbs are thrown in. I have fresh rosemary in this one, which just tastes amazing.
Very nice. And so how long do we bake that?
That's a little quiz. We're going to bake it 25 to 30 minutes.
25 to 30 minutes, done. I mean, that's how fast it is, folks. And that review is actually true on Amazon. Boom, blend them together. That's just how long it takes. We added a little bit of sauteing of the leeks, so we add another 7 to 10 minutes. Yeah. And you're done. Yeah. You're in the oven. You're back to playing with the 3-year-old and having fun. Yeah.
Or you can have the 3-year-old help you make this. I was having my children, they would pick the little rosemary leaves off the stem with their tiny fingers. They're so good at that. They were doing that when they were 2 years old. By age 3, they're cracking the eggs and stirring them with the fork. And if you do that, they'll actually contribute to make the recipe making easier. And it keeps them out of, the electrical sockets and other things while you're cooking.
Or face down in their little Xbox thing.
Exactly.
You want them to be part of your family, which is great. Now, you've got pages and pages and pages of this book. It's not just, I've got one dinner and I've got one cookie. You can do a lifetime of this, and that's what that's what you've created. Yeah, the book has 99 recipes. As I said, they're all made with a superfood almond flour. They're all high protein, and they are quick and dirty dump affairs, which I love. Perfect. I love that. Yeah, so anyone can make it, and you can have kids tugging on your apron while you're making it. Very easy. Sounds good. Now let's go back. We got to take a quick break, folks, but when we come back, we're going to sneak to dessert in just a minute. Tell me again, Bookworm, what time? Bookworm, 6 p.m. tonight in Edwards. Okay. $25. The proceeds go to the Gore Science Range School, and wine and appetizers. $25, folks. Everything goes to the Gore Range Natural Science School. You got to love that. Wine, appetizers. You get to meet Elana, and you get to taste some of this stuff as well. Don't miss it. And Stay tuned. We're going to go dessert after a quick break.